how to work with a hedge fund manager, how I create these joint venture partnerships with people like you. How many people are interested to hear about that? Okay, great. So I'm going to give you the summary of this to start. The end goal is simplicity. Would you agree? So let's start with the simplest strategy that can make us a lot of money in the shortest period of time possible. Now, I like all kinds of commercial deals. I like residential as well. But a few years ago, I discovered that this strategy could be the easiest one for me to use. Now, I use a flip chart because I want to have like a canned presentation. I see what the audience wants. We talk to Russ and Robert, and this is what I want to share with you. I want you to think of this in your own backyard, no matter what city you come from. Have you ever seen, let's say a busy street with two-way traffic? So here's the street, and a single-tenant building is sitting there. Now, what's a single-tenant building? It's a standalone property that can accommodate one type of tenant, like a Jack in the Box, Starbucks, maybe Subway. You're with me on this? Yeah. Imagine the property is vacant, and it has a sign that says available. Have you ever seen a sign like this? What does available mean? It means maybe a broker is listing it or an owner has it. That means if we have a tenant that wants to lease, it's available for lease. If we have a buyer that wants to buy it, we may sell it. Have you seen those signs available? You've seen them? All right. Do you think an empty property would sell at the same price as if it was occupied? No. It's more valuable if it's occupied. We're in agreement on this?
Yes.
Would you agree with me that if occupied by a good tenant with a long-term lease, it will even become more valuable? Yes or no? So do you see an opportunity here already? Putting a property under contract when it's vacant and lining up a tenant that's willing and able to come into that location with a long-term lease. Could that be profitable, yes or no? Now, so conceptually what we're trying to do is find a problem and solve it. So here is, I'm going to walk you through the steps, and you tell me if this works for you. So what I do is I train people to do this, and I've done it several times, among many other joint venture partnerships I do with the fund. So I have my own money in the fund. I've done very well, thank God. And I have investors that give me money to deploy, and I like this strategy a lot. Why do I like it? Because it can work anywhere in the country, even in small towns, precisely the same way. So now let's say you're driving on that busy two-way traffic street, and you see this empty property. So you call, and it's a broker. Let's say it's a broker. And you ask the broker, how much does the owner want for this property? And the owner says, $1 million. Now, by the way, if this 1 million is too big for you, it'll make it zero. If it's too small, just add a zero. Just understand the concept for me. And he says, my owner wants $1 million. Your first reaction is to flinch. $1 million? You understand? That's a flinch. Wait to negotiate. And you pause and you wait. Usually people negotiate with themselves. So the person is going to say, well, it's vacant now. If it gets rented, it will be worth probably over $1 million. The owner wants to sell, they inherited the property, or they lost the tenant. They'll tell you a little story about the property. Now, can you offer them less than $1 million, yes or no? How much would you offer? So say half, it's 500, maybe too low. Say you say $600,000. Let them make the offer. Let's say they come back and they say, all right, you can put it under contract for 600. Now, do you have a short term to actually do the due diligence or a longer term in residential real estate? You have longer term for due diligence. So number one thing you do, you put it under contract to purchase it. And when you put it under contract, let's say for $600,000, you have usually between 30 to 60 days to perform a due diligence. What is a due diligence? It's a period during which you as a potential buyer can actually inspect the property and see if it fits your needs. If you can get the financing, if you can use it. Let's say you're a business owner, you want to know if you can get the permit to operate. Let's say you want to lease it, you want to know if you can get a tenant, etc. You have 30 to 45 days. Let's say 45 days is what they give you. Sometimes they can give you longer. You can even do due diligence for 90 days, but let's be realistic. So now you have it under contract for 45 days. What's the next thing you can do? The next best thing you can do is you start smiling and dialing, and you call national tenants. Give me examples of national tenants. Can you shout some companies that come to your mind? Starbucks, CVS, Dunkin' Donuts,
Family Dollar,
Family Dollar, great one. Dollar General, Walgreens, Who? Uncle Sam? Ah, Uncle Sam. Ah, okay. I thought it's some uncle. I don't know. He was my uncle. All right. Uncle Sam, yes, true. It could be government related. Right? It's endless. So let's say you called a bunch of tenants. What do you say when you call? I'll give you an example of the call. Hi, my name is Cherif Medawar, and I have a property at 123 at Camino Real. It is 2,000 square feet with storage space in the back for 500 square feet. The street is very busy. Neighboring tenants are, there's a Starbucks in the corner, there's a Dunkin' Donuts on the other side, there's a Jamba Juice across the street. Would love to rent it to a national tenant. If your company is interested, please call me back at this number. You're with me? Now, if you're too nervous, what I do with the people I do joint venture with, I actually give them the script. I say, read it. And I know you're going to be nervous the first time. I mean, I've had people call, hi, I'm Burger King, and then they hang up. Yeah, it's the phone. It's all right. All right, you got to practice a little bit. You break the ice, then it becomes natural. Then you can do it when you're thinking, I got to go home and buy tomatoes. You understand? You can do this at work. All right. So, how many tenants do you have to call for somebody to call you back? There is a degree of luck in this. Would you agree? But all you need is how many tenants to call you? One. When one tenant calls you, what do you want them to give you? An LOI. What's an LOI? Letter of intent. So let's say Subway calls you. Now Subway is a great one because they always grow. Quiznos announced a couple of years ago they want to grow 5,400 new units. Now why do these food franchisors want to grow? Because they have a lot of people that call them, like Subway for instance, they have people that call them and say, hi, I'm sick and tired of my corporate job. I saved $150,000 and I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to give you $150,000, give me a store so I can sell sandwiches. You understand the point? We want these people. These people are leaving a 10-hour-a-day job in corporate America to go work in a job where they own the business. And they have people working for them. Great, if they do well, they can expand. But the beauty is, when I get the call back, it's from Subway telling me, we would like to lease that space. And we would like it for 10 or 15 years. How would you like to work once and get income for 10 to 15 years? Now, I know some of you are like, what am I going to do for 10, 15 years? I don't know, go play. Go do another one. Now, people are like, you don't understand. I like to be busy. Well, go exercise, work on your health. I don't know if you noticed my physique. Things like to take a moment. No, I'm just kidding.